As we journey through life, much of our time and energy is spent focusing outward on family, career, friends, and community. We are conditioned from a young age to think about others before ourselves, to be helpful, to give advice, to support, to nurture. While these qualities are admirable and necessary in many stages of life, they can become heavy burdens if we carry them into old age without reflection. There comes a time when the world's demands can feel overwhelming, and it is then that we must turn our attention inward. This is not an act of selfishness, but an essential act of self-preservation and peace. Shifting the focus inward means recognizing that we no longer have to be at the center of everything. In earlier years, we might have felt the need to intervene in every situation, solve every problem, or share our opinions in every conversation. But as the years pass, wisdom teaches us that not every battle needs to be fought, and not every issue needs our involvement. Our time becomes more precious and our energy more limited. Thus, focusing inward allows us to conserve our strength for what truly matters: our health, our peace of mind, and our quiet contentment. It is important to understand that the world will continue to function without our constant attention. The younger generation will make their own choices, learn from their mistakes, and find their own paths. It can be difficult at times to watch from the sidelines, especially when we believe we have valuable experience to share. But wisdom also means knowing when to step back. When we focus inward, we give others the space to grow. We realize that we do not have to carry the weight of their decisions on our shoulders. We can release that burden and allow them the freedom to live their own lives, just as we did when we were younger. Focusing inward also means taking stock of our own needs, often for the first time in many years. We spend much of our lives sacrificing for others, raising children, supporting spouses, caring for aging parents, and working long hours for our careers. In old age, however, it is time to finally ask ourselves, what do I need? It may be rest, it may be a hobby we've long neglected, or it may simply be peace and quiet. By focusing inward, we honor our own desires and give ourselves permission to embrace a slower, gentler rhythm of life. As we turn our gaze inward, we begin to notice the small things that truly matter. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of birds singing, the feel of a book in our hands. These simple pleasures, often overlooked in the busyness of earlier years, become treasures in the quiet moments of reflection. We no longer need to chase achievements or seek validation from others. Instead, we can find deep satisfaction in the beauty of the present moment. Shifting our focus allows us to rediscover the richness of life itself, free from external pressures and expectations. Moreover, when we focus inward, we can better care for our physical and mental health. Aging brings its own challenges, and it is essential to listen to our bodies and nurture our well-being. This may mean saying no to certain social obligations, creating boundaries that protect our energy, or adopting practices that promote relaxation, such as meditation, gentle walks, or simply sitting in silence. By prioritizing self-care, we ensure that we can enjoy our later years with dignity and strength. Ultimately, focusing inward is a form of acceptance, accepting that we are no longer at the center of the world's stage, and that it is perfectly okay. We are not here to fix everything or to please everyone. We are here to enjoy the time we have left, to savor the simple moments, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace. By doing so, we not only nurture ourselves, but we also become a quiet example for others, a reminder that in the later chapters of life, true wisdom often lies in knowing when to let go and simply be. As we reach the later stages of life, it is important to remind ourselves that we have already given much to the world. Throughout the years, we have poured our time, energy, and love into the people and causes that mattered most to us. Whether it was raising children, working diligently at our jobs, helping friends in need, or being active in our communities, we have been part of something bigger than ourselves. We have shaped lives, built memories, and created ripples that extend far beyond what we may even realize. It's easy to forget this, especially in a world that often pushes us to keep doing more. But the truth is, we have already contributed, and that is something to honor, not overlook. Consider the years spent raising a family, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the lessons taught, and the values passed down. These are not small things. They are the foundation upon which the next generation builds their lives. Even if we did not raise children of our own, we may have supported siblings, mentored young people, or been a source of guidance and encouragement to others. These quiet, often unseen acts of care are powerful contributions. They may not always receive recognition, but they leave lasting impressions that continue to shape the world in ways we might never fully know. Our professional lives, too, hold countless examples of our contributions. Whether we worked in offices, schools, factories, fields, or homes, we gave our time and effort to help things run, grow, and improve. We may have taught, built, sold, cared for, or led. We may have been a helping hand, a problem solver, or simply someone who showed up day after day with dedication. Even if our jobs felt small in the grand scheme of things, they were part of the larger system that kept society moving forward. Every role has value, and every person's work adds to the collective progress of the world. Beyond family and work, we have contributed to our communities. We might have volunteered our time, donated to causes, or simply been a good neighbor, checking in on others, sharing a meal, or lending a hand when needed. These small, everyday acts of kindness are often the glue that holds communities together. They create bonds of trust and belonging that make life richer for everyone. Even when we no longer have the energy or ability to do as much as we once did, we can look back on a lifetime of quiet service and know that we have played our part. It's also important to remember the emotional labor we have given throughout our lives. We have been listeners, comforters, peacemakers, and supporters. We have offered shoulders to cry on and words of encouragement when they were needed most. Emotional support is an invisible gift that carries great weight, and many people in our lives have been uplifted and strengthened by our presence. Even when we were simply there to sit in silence with someone in their moment of need, we were contributing something meaningful. As we grow older, we may feel the urge to continue contributing at the same level as before, but it's essential to recognize that our role is changing. The season of pouring out constantly has passed. We have already given so much of ourselves, and it's time to allow that to be enough. We do not need to exhaust ourselves trying to prove our worth, because our worth is already established in the countless moments and years we have invested in others. It's time to rest in the knowledge that we have done our part. By accepting that we have already contributed, we free ourselves from unnecessary guilt and pressure. We can step back and let the next generation take the lead, trusting that they will find their way just as we once did. This doesn't mean we stop caring, but it does mean we can shift from active contributors to quiet observers, offering wisdom when asked, but no longer feeling the need to solve every problem. In doing so, we honor the fullness of our past efforts and embrace the peace that comes with letting go. As we grow older, the need to prioritize our health and peace becomes not just important, but essential. The body we once took for granted begins to show signs of wear, and the mind that once juggled so many responsibilities now seeks stillness. We can no longer push ourselves in the same ways we did when we were younger, and that is not a sign of weakness, but a natural part of life's journey. In fact, it is wisdom understanding that health and peace are not luxuries, but the foundation upon which we must build our remaining years. Without them, everything else becomes difficult, and life's simple joys slip through our fingers. Prioritizing health means listening to our bodies with care and attention. It means attending to doctor's appointments, following medical advice, and being mindful of what we eat, how we move, and how we rest. No longer can we afford to neglect the signals our bodies give us, whether it's a twinge of pain, a feeling of fatigue, or a sense of unease. These are not annoyances to be ignored, but important messages to be respected. By treating our bodies with the gentleness they deserve, we ensure that we can continue to live with as much comfort and strength as possible. Equally important is our mental and emotional health. In old age, we often carry the weight of many memories, some beautiful, some painful. It's easy to fall into patterns of regret, guilt, or worry, but we must remember that peace is a gift we can still give ourselves. Letting go of the past, forgiving ourselves for mistakes, and choosing not to dwell on things we cannot change are acts of deep care for our minds. We must allow ourselves to breathe, to rest, and to embrace the present moment without being burdened by what has come before or what might come after. Prioritizing peace also means stepping away from the chaos of the world around us. The news cycle is relentless, the opinions of others are loud, and the world's problems can feel overwhelming. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to feel that we must have a say or that we must solve the world's issues. But in truth, we must learn to release what we cannot control. Protecting our peace means setting boundaries, turning off the television when the news becomes too much, limiting our exposure to negativity, and refusing to be drawn into unnecessary arguments or debates. It is okay to say, "This is not for me to carry." Our peace also depends on the people we choose to surround ourselves with. At this stage in life, it is vital to spend time with those who nourish our spirits, not drain them. We have the right to limit contact with those who bring stress, negativity, or drama into our lives. We have earned the freedom to choose quiet over conflict, solitude over noise, and kindness over criticism. By prioritizing our emotional well-being, we make space for joy, contentment, and inner calm to take root. Taking care of our health and peace is not a one-time choice, but a daily practice. It means listening each day to what our body and mind are telling us and making adjustments as needed. Some days it may mean saying no to plans because we need to rest. Other days it may mean seeking the company of a friend for a simple walk. There is no formula, no rigid set of rules, only a gentle awareness of what we need in each moment. This is the gift of aging, the freedom to slow down, to listen, and to honor ourselves in ways we may have neglected in the past. By prioritizing health and peace, we also set an example for those who come after us. We show younger generations that it is not only acceptable, but essential to care for oneself. We model the importance of rest, the power of boundaries, and the value of inner calm. In doing so, we leave a legacy not just of what we did in the world, but of how we lived, with grace, with wisdom, and with a deep sense of respect for our own well-being. And as we age, one of the most difficult yet freeing lessons to learn is the art of letting go, the art of releasing the constant urge to advise, correct, and guide others. Throughout our lives, we have gathered experiences, wisdom, and insights that feel valuable, and we often want to share them. We think that by giving advice or pointing out what we believe is right, we are helping. Yet, as the years pass, it becomes clear that not every thought needs to be spoken, and not every situation needs our intervention. Letting go of this habit is not easy, but it is necessary for both our own peace and the well-being of those around us. There is a natural desire, especially among elders, to guide the younger generation, to share the lessons we have learned the hard way, to prevent mistakes, to offer solutions. We have lived through struggles, and we think, if only they would listen, they could avoid the pain I experienced. But the truth is, just as we needed to make our own choices and learn from our own failures, so do they. Life teaches each person in its own way. By stepping back and resisting the urge to correct or advise, we respect their journey. We allow them the dignity of discovering their own paths, even if that means making mistakes along the way. Furthermore, when we constantly try to offer advice, we risk damaging our relationships. Unsolicited guidance can easily be misinterpreted as criticism, as if we are saying, "You don't know what you're doing," or "You're not capable of handling this on your own." This can create tension and distance, especially with younger family members or friends. Instead of drawing people closer, our well-intentioned words may push them away. Letting go of the need to correct fosters more peaceful and loving connections. It allows others to feel heard and accepted rather than judged or corrected at every turn. Another important reason to let go is to preserve our own mental and emotional energy. Advising and correcting often comes with frustration when our suggestions are ignored, when our wisdom goes unappreciated, or when things don't go the way we believe they should. This can lead to feelings of resentment, disappointment, or even bitterness. But why burden ourselves with these emotions? When we release the need to control outcomes and stop offering unsolicited guidance, we unburden ourselves. We allow ourselves to sit back, observe, and accept that life will unfold as it is meant to. Letting go of advice also means embracing humility. No matter how much we have learned in life, we must acknowledge that we do not have all the answers. The world changes, new generations bring fresh ideas, and what worked for us may not work for them. By stepping aside and refraining from offering advice unless specifically asked, we give others space to think creatively, to innovate, and to explore new ways of doing things. This humility fosters mutual respect, an unspoken acknowledgement that we trust others to make their own choices. It's also helpful to remember that silence can be a greater gift than words. Sometimes, when someone comes to us with a problem, they are not seeking advice. They are seeking a listening ear, a warm presence, or a sense of companionship in their struggle. By simply being there without offering solutions or corrections, we provide a safe space for them to express themselves. This act of quiet support can be more powerful than any advice we could give. It shows that we value their feelings and trust their ability to navigate their challenges. Finally, by letting go of the need to advise and correct, we create more peace within ourselves. We free our minds from constant judgment and allow ourselves to rest in acceptance. We stop carrying the burden of feeling responsible for others' choices, and instead we honor the truth that every person has their own path to walk. This act of letting go is not a sign of indifference, but of profound respect for ourselves, for others, and for the natural unfolding of life's lessons. Silence is often underestimated, yet it holds an extraordinary power that grows more evident as we age. Throughout much of our lives, we are taught that communication is key, that speaking up, sharing our thoughts, and offering our opinions is what makes us valuable. But as we grow older, we begin to see that not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every situation needs our input, and not every silence needs to be filled. The power of silence lies in its ability to bring peace, both within ourselves and in our relationships. It allows us to step back from the noise of the world, to listen more deeply, and to find a sense of calm that words often disturb. Silence also offers us the space to reflect. When we fill every moment with conversation, advice, or opinions, we may miss the deeper truths that emerge when we simply pause. By learning to be silent, we create room for our own thoughts to settle and for clarity to arise. In this stillness, we can better understand ourselves, our fears, our desires, our regrets, and our joys. We can observe our lives without the constant pressure of responding or reacting. This reflection is not about retreating from the world entirely, but about making thoughtful choices about when to speak and when to hold back. Moreover, silence helps us become better listeners. So often in conversations, we are not truly listening. We are merely waiting for our turn to speak. But when we embrace silence, we allow others the freedom to express themselves fully. We become more present, more attentive, and more empathetic. Our silence sends a message: I am here, I am listening, I respect your thoughts. This gift of listening is rare and precious in a world that often feels rushed and noisy. It builds deeper connections and fosters a sense of trust that words alone cannot achieve. In difficult moments, especially during conflict or tension, silence can be a powerful form of wisdom. It can prevent arguments from escalating, protect relationships from unnecessary damage, and give everyone involved a chance to cool down and reflect. When we feel the urge to speak in anger or frustration, learning to hold our tongue and remain silent can spare us much regret. It teaches us that not every opinion needs to be voiced and not every battle needs to be fought. Sometimes the most courageous act is to say nothing at all. Silence also allows others to grow in their own time and way. When we constantly fill the air with advice, corrections, or opinions, we may unintentionally stifle the growth of those around us. By stepping back and remaining silent, we give space for others to think, explore, and discover their own paths. This silence is not neglect. It is a sign of respect. It is a quiet acknowledgement that we trust others to figure things out for themselves, even if their journey looks different from our own. There is also a personal peace that comes from silence. When we stop engaging in unnecessary conversations, debates, or complaints, we preserve our energy. We learn to let go of the need to prove a point or have the last word. We stop chasing after every distraction or reacting to every opinion that comes our way. In silence, we cultivate a sense of calm, an inner sanctuary that the noise of the world cannot touch. This peace is deeply nourishing, especially in old age, when we seek simplicity over complexity and serenity over chaos. Finally, silence connects us to something greater than ourselves. Whether it is a sense of spirituality, a connection to nature, or a simple appreciation of the present moment, silence opens a door to stillness and wonder. It allows us to hear the subtle sounds of life, the rustle of leaves, the song of birds, the rhythm of our own breath. These small details, often missed in the rush of conversation, become sources of quiet joy. Silence reminds us that there is more to life than words, and that sometimes the most profound truths are found not in what is said, but in what is left unsaid. As we age, it becomes increasingly clear that not every battle is ours to fight, and not every issue requires our attention. There is a profound wisdom in learning to step back, to avoid conflicts that drain our energy, and to stay clear of situations that do not serve our peace. For much of our lives, we may have felt compelled to speak up, to take sides, or to involve ourselves in the troubles of others, whether out of a sense of responsibility, love, or pride. But with time comes the understanding that many conflicts are best left alone. The price of constant involvement is often too high, costing us our mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical health. By choosing where to direct our attention, we reclaim our energy and preserve our well-being. Conflict, by its very nature, pulls us into a cycle of tension, frustration, and often regret. It can lead to arguments that serve no real purpose, to emotional wounds that take time to heal, and to strained relationships that may never fully recover. While there may be moments in life where standing up for what is right is necessary, not every disagreement requires our participation. Learning to distinguish between what is truly important and what is simply noise is a gift that comes with age. We begin to see that many arguments are rooted in ego, misunderstanding, or pride, issues that often resolve themselves in time or fade away without our interference. Avoiding unnecessary involvement also means recognizing the limits of our influence. It is natural to want to help others, to offer solutions, or to mediate conflicts. However, we must remember that not every problem is ours to fix, and not every person is ready to receive help. Sometimes, by stepping into others' struggles, we only complicate matters or enable unhealthy patterns. It takes humility and restraint to accept that people must navigate their own paths, learn their own lessons, and make their own choices. Even when we believe we know better, our well-intentioned efforts can backfire, leading to resentment or dependence rather than true resolution. Moreover, when we immerse ourselves in conflicts or disputes, we often absorb the emotions that come with them. Anger, frustration, worry, or sadness. These feelings can linger, clouding our minds and disturbing our peace. In old age, when our energy is more limited and our health more fragile, we cannot afford to carry burdens that are not ours. Protecting our peace means recognizing when to walk away, when to stay silent, and when to say, "This is not my battle." It is not about turning our backs on the world, but about choosing wisely where we invest our attention. Avoiding conflicts also requires a conscious effort to let go of the need to be right. It is tempting, especially after years of experience, to assert our views and correct others when we feel they are mistaken. But the pursuit of being right often leads to tension, alienation, and regret. By releasing this need, we create space for harmony and understanding. We allow others the dignity of their own perspectives, even if they differ from ours. We learn to say, "It's not important," and to prioritize peace over winning an argument. This is not weakness, it is wisdom in its purest form. Unnecessary involvement can also take the form of gossip, meddling, or inserting ourselves into situations that do not concern us. These small everyday habits can seem harmless, but they often lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and wasted time. When we are tempted to ask questions, offer opinions, or engage in conversations that are not ours to have, we must pause and ask ourselves, is this truly necessary? Most often, the answer is no. By stepping back, we give others the space to live their lives without our interference, and we free ourselves from the emotional clutter that comes from being too entangled in the affairs of others. Finally, by avoiding conflicts and unnecessary involvement, we create an environment of calm around us. Our presence becomes a source of steadiness and comfort rather than agitation. People begin to trust that we will not judge them harshly, intervene where we are not needed, or stir up trouble. We become a quiet anchor in the midst of life's storms, simply by choosing peace over participation in every drama. This quiet strength is a gift we give not only to ourselves, but also to those around us, creating an atmosphere where others feel safe to be themselves without fear of criticism or interference. As we grow older, we begin to understand the true value of time, not as a resource to be spent chasing after big achievements, but as a gift to be savored in quiet, simple moments. The rush and busyness that once seemed so important give way to a deeper appreciation for small joys, and we find that the most fulfilling moments are often those spent in quiet hobbies or enjoying the simple pleasures that life offers. Whether it's tending a small garden, knitting a scarf, painting, reading, or simply sipping a cup of tea while watching the rain, these humble activities take on a special meaning. They remind us that happiness is not found in grand gestures or endless pursuits, but in the ability to fully engage in the present moment, to immerse ourselves in something that brings a sense of calm and satisfaction. Hobbies are not just a way to pass time, they are a form of self-expression, a way to reconnect with our inner selves. They allow us to explore creativity without the pressure of perfection or performance. In old age, when many of life's responsibilities have been lifted from our shoulders, we have the precious opportunity to rediscover what brings us joy simply for the sake of joy. We may find that the hobbies we once set aside, whether it's sketching, cooking, writing poetry, or learning a new skill, have been waiting for us all along. These small passions become a gentle form of therapy, a way to keep our minds engaged and our spirits lifted even as the world around us changes. Simple pleasures, too, become more profound in their impact. The warmth of the morning sun on your face, the sound of birds singing outside your window, the laughter of a child nearby, or the scent of freshly baked bread. These moments, often overlooked in the rush of youth, now feel like small treasures. They remind us that life's beauty is found not in constant striving, but in the ordinary details that fill each day. Slowing down allows us to savor these details, to linger in them without the constant push toward the next task or obligation. This is the quiet magic of growing older, the chance to breathe deeply and appreciate what we once might have dismissed as insignificant. Engaging in hobbies also nurtures our well-being, both mentally and physically. Activities like gentle gardening, leisurely walks, or crafting not only keep our hands and bodies moving, but also offer a sense of purpose. They give structure to our days and something to look forward to. Hobbies stimulate the brain, spark curiosity, and keep us connected to the world in a meaningful way. They are a quiet antidote to loneliness and a balm for the restless mind. When we immerse ourselves in a creative activity, we enter a state of flow where worries fade and we are fully present, a precious state that brings a sense of peace and fulfillment. Sharing hobbies and simple pleasures with others can also deepen relationships and create moments of connection. Whether it's teaching a grandchild how to bake bread, joining a local book club, or simply sitting with a friend and enjoying a sunset together, these shared experiences strengthen bonds and create memories. They remind us that we don't need grand adventures or expensive outings to feel close to those we love. A simple afternoon spent in good company, doing something we enjoy, can be as meaningful as the most elaborate gathering. It's in these moments that we experience a quiet joy that lingers long after the day is over. Hobbies and simple pleasures also help us maintain a sense of independence and identity as we age. They remind us that we are more than our roles as parents, grandparents, or retirees. We are individuals with our own passions and interests. Even as our bodies may slow down or circumstances change, these activities give us a sense of continuity, a way to stay engaged in the world on our own terms. They affirm that we still have much to contribute, even if it's simply the quiet beauty of a hand-knitted blanket or the cheerful blooms of a flower bed we've nurtured with care. In embracing hobbies and simple pleasures, we also learn to let go of the constant need for productivity and external validation. We no longer measure our days by how much we accomplished, but by how much we enjoyed, how deeply we connected with what we love. This shift in perspective allows us to slow down, to breathe, and to find contentment in the small, steady rhythms of daily life. It teaches us that joy is not something to chase, but something to cultivate right here in the quiet corners of our own lives through the simple acts that bring us peace and pleasure. In the later seasons of life, there is something profoundly beautiful about the calm presence of an elder, someone who has weathered storms, seen the rise and fall of countless worries, and emerged with a sense of quiet understanding. The world, often caught in a whirlwind of noise, urgency, and constant change, longs for the steady, grounding influence of those who have learned to breathe deeply and sit in stillness. Your calm presence becomes a rare and precious gift, not only to yourself, but to everyone you encounter. It is not about doing or saying more. It is about simply being, radiating a sense of peace that silently reminds others that it is possible to slow down, to breathe, and to find serenity, even in the midst of chaos. When you remain calm, you offer a sense of stability in a world that often feels unstable. Family members may come to you with their worries and frustrations. Friends may lean on you during times of difficulty, and even strangers may feel soothed in your presence. It is not that you have to solve their problems or offer advice. Your quiet, composed energy speaks louder than words. It tells them that everything will be okay, that they are not alone, and that there is a safe space where they can simply be themselves. Your presence becomes a gentle reminder that storms do pass, and that peace is not found in controlling everything, but in learning to accept and flow with life. Your calmness also teaches by example. Younger generations, often caught up in the pace of modern life, rarely encounter true stillness. They see adults rushing from task to task, constantly stressed, always reaching for the next goal. But when they sit with you, they see a different way, a way of living that values presence over productivity, listening over speaking, and contentment over constant striving. Your calm presence plants a seed in their minds, showing them that they too can choose a life of balance and inner peace. It is a quiet form of mentorship that needs no formal teaching, only the steady light of your example. In family dynamics, your calm energy can act as a soothing balm, especially during moments of tension or disagreement. When others are caught up in heated emotions, your stillness creates space for reflection. Your refusal to engage in unnecessary drama sends a message that peace is more important than winning an argument. Over time, this influence can subtly shift the atmosphere in your home or community, fostering a culture where kindness, patience, and understanding take precedence over conflict and agitation. Your presence becomes an anchor, holding steady amidst the tides of life. Furthermore, your calm presence benefits your own well-being by learning to step back from the constant noise and demands of the world. You create a sanctuary within yourself. This inner sanctuary allows you to remain centered even when circumstances around you are turbulent. It protects your health, conserves your energy, and gives you the mental clarity to navigate challenges without becoming overwhelmed. The peace you cultivate within radiates outward, creating a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. It is a form of quiet strength that grows more potent with time, a testament to the wisdom gained through years of experience. Your calm presence also offers comfort in times of uncertainty. When others are afraid, anxious, or unsure of what lies ahead, your steady demeanor becomes a source of reassurance. You embody the understanding that life is full of ups and downs and that it is possible to endure difficulties with grace. Your ability to sit in stillness, to hold space for others without judgment, and to simply be present in the moment is a profound form of support. It shows that sometimes the best way to help is not through action or words, but through the quiet, unwavering gift of your presence. In a world that often values speed, efficiency, and constant noise, your calm presence stands as a quiet, powerful counterpoint. It is a reminder that we do not need to fill every silence, solve every problem, or control every outcome. Sometimes the most meaningful thing we can offer is simply our presence. A steady hand, a warm smile, a listening ear. Your calmness is not just for you. It is a gift that ripples outward, creating peace wherever you go and inspiring others to find their own stillness amidst the chaos. In the twilight years of life, there is a quiet power in letting go of what no longer serves us and embracing what truly matters: peace, simplicity, and inner contentment. By focusing on ourselves, cultivating stillness, and offering our calm presence to the world, we not only protect our own well-being, but also inspire others to slow down and seek balance in their own lives. Old age is not a time for proving our worth or correcting every wrong. It is a time for gentle reflection, for enjoying the simple pleasures of each day, and for becoming a quiet source of comfort to those around us. We have already contributed so much to the world. Now, our most profound contribution may simply be our example, showing that it is possible to live with grace, to let go of unnecessary burdens, and to find joy in the small, everyday moments. By learning to stay silent when words are not needed, by stepping back from conflicts that are not ours to solve, and by immersing ourselves in hobbies and simple pleasures, we create a legacy of peace that speaks louder than any words ever could. In the end, the calm we cultivate within becomes the most precious gift we can offer to ourselves, to our loved ones, and to the world. Let us embrace this season of life with gratitude, with quiet dignity, and with the understanding that the most important journey is not outward but inward, toward a heart that is still, a mind that is at peace, and a life that radiates quiet joy.